Okay, before we start our next talk, let's just do a brief recap of what we have so far. In the first talk, we heard if you want to be happy, you have to go where happiness is. Happiness exists inside you. Okay? It's not external, it's inside you. You can keep looking on the exterior, and you probably will keep looking on the exterior. I still do myself. I, you know, made a mistake last night. It was a Sunday night dinner, and I get under these impressions that it must be my gullibility and my naivete that continues. But I don't know. I have like this Pollyanna outlook that I can go to a family function, a dinner that someone's having. I can go and dinner starts at 6, and I can enjoy myself and see the people and talk, and all that happened. But you know, I stayed a little too late. I should have walked out the door, but somebody kept me in the living room when I was on my way back out the patio door to their driveway and then out to the street. That's where I was headed. But somebody asked me a question, and we started to talk, and then I sat down to join him, and I ended up staying another 45 minutes. And the end result of that was, as strange as this may sound, overexposure to human nature is what it was. I should have kept walking. And next time I will. I'll give a brief, polite, friendly answer, and I'll keep moving. And I should have got out of there. As you get involved with this work that I'm trying to describe to you and share with you and reveal to you, this will become more and more clear. So if you want to be happy, you have to go where happiness is, and I have to remind myself constantly, happiness, it cannot come from the world outside, from anything exterior to me. Happiness exists inside me. Happiness exists inside you. That's where nature herself breathed the emotional, the psychological level of happiness into you at the moment of conception. You have the ability to be happy. The only reason you're not is because of you. You're doing it to yourself. Okay, that's another big point that we're going to be getting into. It's not the husband, the wife, it's not your kids, it's not the boss, it's not that neighbor who drives you nuts. I've got a neighbor with a barking dog, and the dog, you know, animals, cats, dogs, they become just as neurotic as their owners are. The pet lives with the person for a while, picks up the behaviors. I've seen it over and over again. And that dog is neurotic as its owner, and the dog keeps barking. Okay. So, I mean, things like this happen. So what do I do? What do I do with a barking dog? I'll tell you something, and this is key to everything that we're going to be discussing. And that is, I use everything to wake up. I use it. That dog barks and it irritates me. And which part of me does it irritate? Does it irritate my natural, true, higher self, my essential self? Does it irritate the essence part of me, the spirit part of me, the awareness part of me, the happiness part of me? Nope, not at all. That barking dog irritates my false self. We have a true self, we have a false self. It's not too early to get into that either. But we live from a false self and expect to be happy. And you can't be happy if you're living from your false self. The false self has to go. Moment to moment, impartial self-observation dissolves the false self. That's why we want to self-observe. Christ said this. That was his message. And you're going to hear that throughout all of my talks, because that's what the man came to say. That's what he learned as a boy. As a boy, the Christ sat at the feet of the spiritual masters. He didn't just live in modern day Israel. He traveled all over the place. That's what young men in that day did. They would travel, and well, I don't want to get into a whole bunch about him, but that's what he said. He said you have to learn to live. You have to discover your true self and begin to live from that. And you can, but you first have to see the difference between the false self and the way it is, and the true self and the way it is. When you're living from your false self, you're angry, you're upset, you have resentment in you, you have jealousy in you, you're full of hate. That's all false self. That's because that's an extension. All those are expressions of what the false self wants. Your false self, my false self, gives you and I all the trouble there is. I have no enemy who gives me more trouble than my own false self. That is the enemy. And again, how do I get rid of the enemy? I self-observe. Because when I self-observe, I see the false self in action. I see it. It's like, and when the false self is being seen, the false self stops, and it reduces itself. Every time you notice your false self, it has to reduce. It is reduced by the power of self-observation itself. Self-observation dissolves the false self. So what do? You observe yourself over and over and over again. You keep doing it until the false self gets the message that it is the bad part of you, put that word in quotes, and the false self is no longer going to be obeyed. Only the true self will be obeyed. And the truth self exists inside you also. See? This is why you need, I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what I've experienced. I can't. Who am I to tell you what to do? I can't do that. But you might want to consider the benefits of observing yourself in action, so that no longer are you living from a false self that causes you all kinds of pain and trouble. It's your false self that gets mad at other people because you want your way, but something happens and you don't get it, and then you express yourself, you explode in anger. When's the last time you exploded in anger? How long has it been? For a lot of people, not very long. And this is where you have to start getting honest with yourself also. If you want to keep lying to yourself, this is not for you. I'll tell you flat out. You might as well you might as well turn on Jerry Springer, or, go eat another can of Pringles, or, just go numb out with all the rest, all the 99.9% of what's online for you to distract yourself with, for you to numb yourself out with. I'm trying to express a message, a teaching that can save your life. But I'll tell you flat out, most people, they don't have ears to hear or eyes to see. They literally can't hear it. They cannot hear what's being said. And that's okay. I'm not after those people. I don't want anything from them, from you, from anybody. I don't need anything. I've got what I need. It courses through me every day. I have seen my false self in action, and no longer is the false self ruling my life because I've learned how to self-observe. I'm trying to communicate the same message to you because it'll help you, because it will end your pain. If you want to end your pain, this is for you. If you don't want to end your pain, this is not for you. Most people do not want to end their pain. They think, well, what are you talking about? I'm not in pain. My life's not that bad. I've got my spouse and my kids, and I've got my friends that I've known a long time. I've got my family. I'm able to hold things together pretty well. I've got my career, and we're making pretty good money now. Okay. Knock yourself out and just wait until one of those things in your life goes away. Just wait till one of your kids gets sick or your spouse does something you don't like or something happens to a relative or to your parents or one of your friends. What are you going to do then? How about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when you wake up and you bolt upright in bed and you can't sleep and you just had a nightmare? And how come your mind is doing those things to you and your emotions? How come you have so much trouble with other people? I'm not asking this question of you. I'm asking this question of me. How come you have so much trouble with other people? See, I'm looking right into the little white light that's on the side of this camera. Someone was intelligent enough, open-minded enough to change that light from red to white, but it still means the same thing. It means you're on. It means, what do you got? What are you made of? What's inside of you? So, let me tell you something that you probably need to do that you probably haven't done. And you probably haven't even heard anything about it either. And here it is. You're not a very good friend to yourself, are you? You're not a very good friend to yourself. You don't treat yourself very well, do you? Has it ever occurred to you that you treat other people the exact same way you treat yourself? Have you ever realized that? You know why other people are kind of standoffish when they see you coming? They don't like the way you are. They know that dealing with you is dealing with a whole lot of trouble. They've had a taste of what's happening inside you, and they don't like what they see. They don't like what they experienced. So let me ask you this. Are you willing to admit that you're out of control? Are you willing to admit that you're miserable? Are you willing to admit that everything you've heard in this series of talks, from 1 to now 4, terrifies you? And I know it terrifies you because everything I've said from tape 1 to right now has no resemblance to anything you've ever heard before. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Worse than that, you think you're okay. You're not okay. You're a mess. And because you are a mess, this world is a mess. Because this world is comprised of 8.2, 8.3 billion other people who are exactly like you. We each inhabit different levels of consciousness, different levels of emotion, different levels of intelligence. We're not equal. You being told that you are equal to other people in the eyes of nature, in the eyes of the higher force that created you, you're equal. But you're not equal when it comes down to your existence on this plane, on this planet, dealing with other people. You don't think there's other people who are physically stronger than you? I know there's people who are physically stronger than me. I know there's people few and far between. There's not a lot. But I know there's people who are, let's put it this way, better actors than I am. They're better pretenders. They're better at pretending that they've got everything together. You know anybody who's got everything together? Let me tell you something. There's not one. Christ said it. There's not one. Not one out of 8.3 billion human beings on this planet who've got it all together. Not one. What did he say? He said, no one is good but the Father, but his Father. No one is good but the higher energy that created even him and sent him here. Christ came here to tell you something. And the message he spoke, which he spoke with extreme authority, when he spoke, people heard him speak. And he threatened the powers that be, which you cannot do in this world. You cannot threaten the powers that be, any kind of powers, financial, religious, spiritual, social. You cannot threaten political, any power without making yourself a target in this world. Doesn't work that way. They don't like that. And they didn't like Christ to the extent that they had him arrested. He was a threat. They couldn't have him walking around telling people that God exists inside you, that heaven is closer than your own breath, that you can self-observe yourself into the higher kingdom, that the kingdom of heaven exists inside you. They couldn't have him expressing these facts publicly because it would knock them out of their positions of power, economic influence, making money, their social standing. They couldn't stand it. Who is this carpenter from Nazareth? How dare he? How dare you usurp our authority? So what did they do? They did what human beings to this very day do. And I know that through personal experience. When you are a threat to the powers that be, the powers that be conspire to eliminate you. And then they eliminate you. Christ came here to tell you how to save your life. Are you going to listen? He's not here now. You will not hear his message in any church, in any organized religion. You will not hear what he taught. They're not in the business of disseminating that information to you. They also do not know. They have no understanding. They do not know. They don't know what he taught. But he came here to tell people, put first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be given unto you. That means self-observe. Learn how to self-observe. Get into the habit of noticing yourself in action if you want to save your own soul. At present, you don't have a soul. You can pretend you have one. You can wish to have one. You can hope to have one, but you do not have one. It's not there. Okay? You need one. If you want to live forever, which the essential you can do, even upon the cessation of your physical body, if you want to live forever, you can. But you got to get busy with this. Time is fleeting. You don't have as much time with this as you think you do, or you wish you do, or you hope you do, or you assume you do. You don't have the time. So get busy, okay? Get busy with this. I'm not wasting my time and energy and my money. This is not free to do these things, what I'm doing. It's not free. It costs me money, time, energy. I'm not doing this for my health. I'm spreading the message that needs to be spread. I'm telling you what no church or religious expert on this planet can tell you because they don't know. If you want to end your pain, if you want to have a happy life, if you want to find personal contentment, you can do it. But you must avail yourself of what I am trying my best to tell you.